Hi Flutter developers, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be seeing how to disable buttons in Flutter applications. So we'll be going over three types of button: raised buttons, flat buttons, and text buttons. And we'll see how to disable them. So the spoiler alert is you can disable them by not passing the onPressed property or either passing it null. If you want to learn how to do that, then hang in here until the end. Alright, so let's start looking into the code right now. So as you can see, there are three buttons here: raise button, flat button, and text button. So a quick note, the flat button is actually deprecated and replaced by text button right here, as you can see. But I have covered the flat button as well, just in case if anyone is still using flat button. So it's pretty simple and straightforward, and I have put it next to each other to see like how they look in the disabled mode and in the enabled mode. So as I said before, we have onPress property that it shouldn't be passed if we want a button to be disabled, and if it's there, then it has to be null. So now how we can do for the raise button? So as I said, onPressed is null, or it can be changed. So you have a functionality like you want to do on and off. You can use a boolean and you can press it, you can pass it either null or not depending on that boolean variable. Or you can simply comment it out like this, and it will be same like a disabled as well. So each choice is yours. Now the same thing applies to the flat button and the text button right here. So the difference between these three buttons are in the raised button, as you can see, that I'm highlighting the code. So we can specify these three parameters: disabled colors, and disabled elevation, and disabled text color. So in disabled color, like what should be the color of this button, it should be, I picked the gray, and the elevation, like how much elevated it is from here, and the color that I use, blue and gray right here, that you can also specify if you are using the raised button. For the flat button, you can have the same thing like onPressed, I'm passing it null, and disabled color right here, and around it the disabled text color. Sorry, this is a disabled button, is disabled blue gray, again the same color, but the background is different. It's a here I'm using colors.black12 here, the color for the button, right, light gray. And for the flat button, a flat button is like this right here, so you cannot really put the color of the background for this. In this case, this is how the flat button used to be. So now it's replaced. It has replaced the flat button, and it just gives you a button without any background. And the same behavior could have been achieved by using flat button earlier. So here what we do, we are onPressed is null as well. So what is common between all these three buttons are the onPressed. So if we don't pass the onPressed, they are disabled. If you want them to be clickable like this, then you have to pass some functionality. Here I'm passing, every time you click the onPressed, it just prints click in my terminal right here. Okay, so in the run, not in terminal, it's in the run right here. So every time I click in here, it will print the clicked to on the console. And in the disable button, as you can see, nothing happens in either of these. So that's the difference. Now one quickly thing I wanna just show you, as I mentioned it before, but let's see how it changes. So let's change the few colors in disabled color in the say red for the, and as I see it, so it becomes the the background color becomes the red, and it still is disabled. So, and the elevation, the red is really hurting the eyes, so let's make it amber, which is a yellow color, and this is better. So elevation is something like how it feels like, how much elevated it is, how much the hue around it, the shadow underneath it. So it feels like you can click it, but you really can't click it. So I recommended having the elevation to 0 for disabled button, and as you can see, it's like a right there disabled button, same like a flat button. And in the flat button, this automatically comes. You cannot have elevation for the flat buttons, so you don't have this property here. So the difference between these three buttons is this: in the raise button, you can change the elevation as we discussed, as we saw right here in the disabled button, and you can parameterize it, you can personalize it by putting the disabled colored and disabled text colors and so on. However, it's not that easy to do it in the flat button. However, you can make a raised button as a flat button by using the elevation as 0 or in the elevation 0, which becomes a flat button. Yeah, so in this video we covered like how these three buttons, raise button, flat button, and text button widgets are used, or how they are different and how they can be disabled. I hope you like this video, and please give me your feedback in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.